Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Culture Shock. Now, today we have a guest whose journey is much more than professional wrestling. He is a superstar, accomplished performer, and a trailblazer, and someone who's constantly challenged the expectations placed before him. From his unforgettable work inside the ring to creating characters and moments that connect with audiences all around the world. He has proven that you don't have to be the blueprint to create your own lane. Ladies and gentlemen, Mustafa Ali. Welcome to Culture Shock, sir.
Oh, the intro. I love it. I love it. Thank you for the kind words.
I
No doubt.
appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today, sir. So
My
I know
pleasure.
you're busy, and I'll jump right into it with the questions, sir. So,
This is hour six of media. Let's get it. No worries. We're good. Let's get it.
all right, great. Now, if you can sit down with the Mustafa Ali who first walked into professional wrestling, what would you tell him now?
Run. No, I'm kidding. Man, there. That kid that walked in, all he wanted to be was Jeff Hardy. He was a 16-year-old kid with long hair, and he just wanted to do swanton bombs and go through tables, and he had no idea about the weight of his culture and his religion and how much it would play a factor, both professionally and outside the ring. There's no clue because in his head, he was just a kid from Chicago that loved wrestling. Um, it wasn't until he approached a pro wrestling school that he was very abruptly told that his race and his religion was the most important thing, and that he would have to play a stereotypical role and yada yada yada. And for those that know my story, kind of understand what the dilemma was. And then all these years later, 20, 24 years later, I would like to say that the last thing people think about when they talk about Mustafa Ali as the performer is his race or religion. They talk about the character, the in-ring work, the promos, the work ethic, and like you said, the moments and whatnot. So I'm very glad that what I was told on day one is not true. It truly is. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter what you believe in. All that truly matters is what's in your heart. And if you have a vision and you have a dream, there's no one, there, of course, there's going to be naysayers. That's why it's a dream, right? It's unbelievable. Your
Mhm.
dream should be so big that there is a very realistic chance it won't happen, but that's the beauty of a dream. So I would tell them just to hold on and that you're gonna prove them wrong.
I love that. Now,
Yeah.
what's something about the wrestling business that fans completely misunderstand?
I mean, it's I get a little defensive when wrestlers and those in the business get mad at fans for having opinions and takes and giving their philosophy. I go, how is it different than anything else? I'm not a chef, man. I don't know a damn thing. I can make a mean bowl of cereal and that's about it. But if I go to a restaurant and I eat something and I don't like it, I kind of lean over to my own like, oh, I don't like
Mhm.
this. I don't now. Do I run online and write a whole? No, I'm not. And same thing. I'm not a big movie guy. I'm not. But if I watch a show and I'm not really feeling it, I go, I'm entitled to my opinion, even though I don't make films. I'm not an actor, right? So
Mhm.
it to me, like, what's the difference between wrestling? Wrestling is just like music. It's just like food. There's just so many different varieties and tastes. And now, do I understand, spending your days, rage type reviewing on something that you don't like? I think if you love something, yeah, I get that. Spend the time to talk about and discuss it. But it's your life, it's your opinion. Yeah, you're told. So people are like, oh, did you hear so and so? That I go, yeah, they're entitled to an opinion. We as wrestlers do the same thing when we watch an NFL game and the quarterback chokes, and we go, oh, you should have did like, are you a quarterback?
Yeah.
Are you throwing the ball? Are you in you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, man, have fun with it. So I don't, there's nothing for you guys to really like understand. I do think the one thing that like a lot of people don't understand, especially when you're extremely successful in demand, is the travel. The
Mhm.
travel is insane. It's nonstop. I just, with this international championship, for example, it was defended in France, Germany, Mexico multiple times in Canada. We had someone from Australia come over to compete for it. I just came back from Costa Rica. This weekend, I'm heading to Santiago, Chile. I have other international appearances scheduled in Scotland, in Qatar. So it's a lot of that while competing domestically on the independents here and with TNA. So it is a lot, but it's all what I want, you know? So there's nothing really to complain about. So I get what you're asking, but like, nah, man, there's not. It's a lifestyle. We're on the road. We miss a lot of stuff with our family, but
Mhm.
I feel like any other profession, the entertainment business, it's kind of like go go go, you know. So yeah, I welcome your opinions. I don't necessarily always agree with them or read them, but like have fun with it, man.
Yeah. Plus, it's dope. You get to see all these new places for the first time and get to visit.
So that okay, now that you said that, I think that's the one misconception. When I just went to Paris, I didn't see nothing then. I landed at 2 p.m. The show's at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. So I'm going straight from the airport to the show. I'm competing. I haven't eaten all day. If I have a chance, maybe I get a quick workout in before the show, and then the show is done, and then my flight's at 5 a.m. out. So I'm going back to the hotel. I'm showering. I'm getting 2 3 hours of sleep. Back to the airport. I'm gone. So like that, I don't. When I'm in Paris, I'm not there for a couple days. I'm there for a couple hours. So I
Okay.
guess that's the best biggest misconception we could talk about. At least for me, I've seen a lot of hotels, a lot of gyms, a lot of arenas. You know what I mean? That's about it. I don't really get to go out and sightsee that much.
Now, you done had some incredible moments in the ring. Is there a one match that you think deserved more recognition than it actually got?
Um, More recognition because honestly, it was one of the most brutal matches I had. I was pretty banged up after that. It was the match earlier this year with Elijah, the guitar case casket match.
Ooh.
A couple of factors into it. What made it brutal? But it was just it was nonstop action. It was chair spots and table spots, and that damn casket itself was so heavy and brutal. And Elijah's this big behemoth of a guy. It was the one time I really came home and I was like, man, I can't move. Like I'm beaten from head to toe, and there's all these scars and cuts all over my body from going through a table and a door that was propped up on the couch. At the time, it got a lot of love for sure, but I think it kind of got lost in the cycle of wrestling. While the match I just recently had with Jason Hodge was 2 weeks ago, and people are still talking about it. I'm still getting messages about it, and I still see columns and music videos and stuff like that. So it kind of, but maybe because it was for a championship, maybe because I don't know, but I do remember like, oh man, this match with Elijah was it was good. And so much so that I remember when I came backstage, like the medicals, like checking me out because there were some cuts here and there, and I was pretty banged up, but I was okay. But of all people, Jeff Hardy approaches me, and he goes, "Hey man, you're crazy." And I just remember going, "You calling me crazy is just like a next level compliment." So thank you very much. So yeah, if you haven't had the chance to check it out, it's Mustafa Ali versus Elijah from a TNA Impact in January, the guitar case casket match.
Okay. Now, social media has completely changed wrestling. Do you think it helps wrestlers control their narratives, or do you think it creates even more pressure for them?
I mean, a little bit of both. You're now expected to be accessible at all times. Like, oh, you haven't posted in 5 days, or and like one thing that kind of sucks. Like, you win this big championship or you have this big moment. The first thought is like, hurry up, let's get a picture to get on. Like, instead of just being in the moment with your peers and like FaceTiming your wife or like that. The idea is like content, content, content. But that's the nature of the business now, right? Like we're a content driven industry, and I think the world is content driven, and that's why we have unlimited data plans now. Right? We have Wi-Fi. It's just content, content, content. I understand the business of it, but I myself have gotten a lot better about not making that my number one priority. I was the first guy to be like, let's get a picture, let's get the social media guy, get it posted, this and that. Now I'm definitely like, okay, as much as I appreciate they can wait. I can take 2 minutes to just really be in the moment and text my wife and talk to my friends and my coworkers and just really, you know, experience fully the fulfillment of what we just did, and then we can get back to work. So I'm a little better about that now. But yeah, it's nice when, I know a lot of people, talk about not having an opportunity and, not getting TV time and whatnot. Your cell phone is media. I'd argue that sometimes your cell phone will have access to even more people than a show would. you
Hmm.
know so if you have good content, it's going to go viral, it's going to get eyes, it's going to, and that's the one thing. If I constantly see you, and big shout out to a guy like Richard Holiday. I know he's not affiliated with TNA, but he's a guy that everyone understands his stick now. Everyone knows his signature move and the stuff with Pink, because he posts so regularly. Let's say you don't even like the content, but you just see it constantly, that now you are. So I guarantee when I see him on the show, I know
Who he is.
that's his thing. I know exactly who it is. I know his shtick. So he's running commercials for himself every day. Just think about it that way. You're running a 30-second ad for yourself every day. So if you're in that position where you want to get something over and established, yeah, why not? So social media is great in that aspect, right? And it's free.
Yep, I
All
believe
it costs is your time. Yeah.
Now, what's the funniest thing that ever happened to you backstage that fans probably never heard about?
Man, that's a good question, bro. The funniest thing that happened to me. I don't really get pranked or ribbed, or I think people. I'm a little. I'm not grumpy, but people kind of leave me the hell alone. I'm approachable. I'm nice, but I don't. The funniest thing that happened to me, man, I think you got me. I don't have a funny one for you. I'm trying to think of. I mean, we've had a lot of oh crap moments, like, oh, we're up next, and something
Okay.
happened, and we
How
had
about one of
stuff like
those?
that. Stuff happens like that. It's live TV, right? There's situations where people get injured, or someone can't be found for whatever reason, or there's a
Mhm.
technical difficulty in a video package that needs to play. It's not playing, so they'll panic. Ali, go! You're up now. I'm like, I thought I had another 20 minutes. Okay, or I have been caught in the restroom one time, and I was needed, and they're looking for me, and I'm in the restroom, and they're like banging on the stall. You're up. I'm like, oh, literally, oh crap, and we had to get out there. Yeah, so those are always fun situations. But I'm trying to think of man, you got me. I don't have a funny, like, backstage incident. I'm really trying to think here, but yeah, I got nothing for you. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
I, I, Everyone just leaves me alone.
Well, let me ask you this.
Hmm.
You have worked with some of the biggest names in wrestling. Who surprised you the most once the cameras were off?
Man, everyone's just so uh, like, not to, like, I mean, he's done with the game now, so I don't think it's a big deal. But like, actually, Brock
Mhm.
was so professional and chill, and I didn't have much interaction with him from the infamous Money in the Bank spot where he came over and knocked me off the ladder. But in the ring, before he had knocked over the ladder, he made sure to look up and check that I was ready and I was okay. And that's surprising. I thought he was just going to kill me. And even backstage a few times, just always a very, like stand up easy guy. Like, not that we're like buddies and, like, exchanging numbers, but he was like, hey, what's going on? How are you? I'm doing great. How are you? How's your family? And it's not something you would expect. This guy just, literally looks like a killer, right? So I think Brock was a surprising one for me. And I don't know why. Just, he's just a dude, I'm trying to think who else. Yeah, I'm at that age, man, where, like, we're all kind of like dads and husbands, and
Mhm.
you know, uh, so, like, no one's really, like, nervous or anxious about performing. We're excited, but so it's just, the locker room is very chill. Like, no one's very like, this guy's an a-hole, or all I gotta do is, like, at least in my with my experience, and I know people have problems with each other, and there's drama here and there, but
Mhm.
yeah, everyone has pretty much been as cool as I could expect. I mean, there's no one that was like, man, I didn't think I didn't think he would be like this at all. No, everyone's been great.
That's good. And Mustafa, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today. And I do want to let y'all know TNA Lockdown is Sunday, August 23rd at the Credit Union One Arena in downtown Chicago. And tickets are still on sale. And you can catch Thursday Night Impact on AMC and AMC Plus in the US, Sportsnet 360 in Canada, and TNA Plus worldwide. Mustafa, brother, I appreciate this interview, sir.
My
Looking
man,
forward to
thank
seeing
you.
what you're doing in the future, sir.
Thank you, man. Great job.
No problem. And once again, this has been another episode of Culture Shock. We'll catch you next time.